There we go. That's the advancement that I was hoping to get last week, and just barely managed to get it. I'd like that experience that it dropped too, though, if I can get down there. But anyway, welcome back to our 1.18 All Advancement Survival Series. And as you can tell, today we're going to be focusing on a lot of Nether-related advancements. What's the best way of getting down there without getting absolutely drilled by this guy? Dropped a gas tier, but I don't think that I can get over there safely. Though a gas tier would be nice for some future things. You know what? I'm going to see if I can't make my way down there. But before I do, I am going to grab a little bit of this quartz, because I'm currently trying to grind up some levels to make sure that I can get my diamond pick enchanted. I'm hoping that we can get a fortune enchantment on it, but that's pretty rare. So I don't know how realistic it is for us to expect something like that. Let's make our way back up this little pathway I've carved out of this mountainside and see if we can make our way to the top end. It looks like we should be able to. We're just going to have to go around this way. And that should give us a downward path that we can use to get down to that gas tier. Because we're going to need 4 of those, I believe. At least initially. We'll probably have a need for more of them later on. So, that doesn't necessarily help me immediately, but it's enough of a benefit to the point where I am going to leave it for the time being. And I am going to put this mending book on this pickaxe as well. Just because it's going to help with it's going to help in the long run to have a soak touch pick, even though it's basically broken right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in my offhand for a while so we can get experience from it while using it. But there's something up this way that I found between episodes that I wanted to point out because I think it's going to be super useful. So let's take a tour up that way so we can talk about just how crazy of a find this is and was. So I was just kind of wandering around in between episodes and kind of minding my own business. And what I ended up finding is just over here on my left. Now, these things aren't entirely uncommon, but something that I did find quite interesting about it was just the elevation that this spawner was at. Because I don't know that I've ever seen them up this high in the world. We're at 106. And we've just got a skeleton spawner hanging out right here. So we'll probably want to do something with this eventually, later on down the road. But certainly a very welcome find, at the very least. Now, I am going to go ahead and leave something here, just because this pick is basically broken, and I think it's beneficial to have some of those pumpkin seeds down towards the bottom. But I just thought that that was crazy and cool that there was a spawner up at this elevation, and especially since such a useful spawner because it's a skeleton spawner. But let's make our way back down this mountain so we can get back into the Nether and work on some more of these advancements. So these are the goods that I got out of that skeleton spawner. A music disc, which we could use in today's episode to get an advancement. If not, we'll do it next week. And a saddle, which the saddle is a little bit more important to me in the immediate future. However, we're going to go ahead and grab the crying obsidian that we collected last episode and combine that with a couple of pieces of glowstone. There we are. We'll now take our respawn anchor into the Nether so we can get the next advancement on today's docket. We're going to go ahead and place this respawn anchor right here. We're going to charge it up. And we don't need to set our spawn here in order to get that advancement. I could if I really wanted to, but honestly, we just have it charged up and ready to go, and we've got it as an additional light source here next to our portal. So that's pretty good, all things considered as well. Now, there's another advancement that we could go for pretty easily here. I would require me making my way over to this biome across the way, which we will want to do eventually. But let's go ahead and pull up our advancement tree to see if we can find some things that are really worth spilling some time into. Now, this one is not going to happen today. We have to get it for the sake of the series that we're doing right now, but that requires a lot of setup, and I do think that there are easier ways to do it. We'll need at least 6 ingots, I believe, in order to get the Cover Me in Debris, as well as the Serious Dedication and Country Load Take Me Home. Technically, there could be a lodestone in the bottom portion of the bastion that's back over this way, but I really don't want to track that down and see if that is indeed the case. But there's not a whole lot of other advancements that we have in these other tables, and this is the one that we can do with that music disc. We just need to get into a meadow biome in order to do that. So I'm going to make my way down this way, where I've prepared a little bit of an area in the hopes of finding some ancient debris. And haven't had any luck thus far, but something you do need to take into some pretty serious consideration here is when mining for ancient debris, unless you have exhausted all your other options, and even then, you don't want to head off in toward a basalt delta biome, because it's going to be highly counterintuitive to your end goal. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up our chunk border here, and I'm going to mine my way over to the actual border of the chunk, and you can tell that that's right here, because I'm going to ultimately be in a much better position mining at level 15 for ancient debris, as well as going along different chunk borders to see where the ancient debris could be. There's much better ways to go about trying to find this when you have better resources for it and more consistent resources, but we're fairly limited for the time being, so if we can just get a singular piece of ancient debris to get the Hidden in the Depths advancement, I'll call that good for being on camera, and then we'll want to do more with that later on. And anytime we come across some of this quartz or even the nether gold ore, we'll want to mine it up for the experience that we can get out of it, more so the nether quartz, because there's a lot more experience that drops from the quartz than the gold ore that's in here. And we need to focus on healing up this pick as much as we can. And we're going to grab this piece of nether gold ore just because it's right in our way. But that's really the biggest part of it. And while I was talking through it, we were fortunate enough to find some ancient debris. So let's go ahead and pick up those 2 nuggets there, because that's going to be very beneficial for us. And I don't think that there's any more in this immediate vicinity. So we're going to now switch back off of our pick. And you can tell here that I believe it was in this general area. I actually think it was this chunk. So the next little bit isn't likely to have any additional pieces, because you can get up to 5 pieces of ancient debris in a chunk in general. And that is throughout the entire elevation of the chunk. So especially where it's more likely to spawn down here at the Y level of 15. I'm likely out of the ancient debris for this chunk. Now, that is to say that I could end up with some more ancient debris over here on the left-hand side, because the chunk does split between where we're digging and the next section over. So that is a realistic possibility of something that we could see, but it's still fairly unlikely because of how rare ancient debris is. And of course, the enchant on a pickaxe immediately after I get the Silk Touch one is a Fortune 3 enchantment, which is fine, because I'd like to place that on a diamond pick anyway. So we'll go ahead and store this diamond pick up, and we'll hold on to it until we have enough levels to do that, which is going to take a minute longer due to the fact that we now have another pickaxe with mending on it to fully heal up. But it'll be worth it in the long run to have that as, or in our rotation, I should say. Alright, that's 3, and this is 4. And assuming there's nothing else right here, which I highly doubt that there would be, that's going to be enough for us to get our first piece of ancient debris, or netherite. We have plenty of ancient debris. But, let's see. Let's get that bed out of our hotbar just to keep things safe. And I'd like to see if I can't get a second piece of netherite today so we can knock out 2 advancements out of that tree, and I think 4 is a good place to call it. Well, that didn't go as planned, which is unfortunate because we were really close to where we needed to be. I mean, we got our pickaxe completely healed up, but now we're basically starting back at square one. So I am going to do one final advancement, which involves this ingot, and since it won't require anything else out of me, beyond putting together some additional resources, this is going to be where we call things off. So we're going to make ourselves a stone cutter, and with that stone cutter we're going to go ahead and I don't know where we want this, probably over here I suppose. Put it here. We're going to then need some stone. We're going to need to smelt up some stone so we can make ourselves a lodestone. So let's throw a piece of coal in here and get those 8 pieces smelting up, because I'm pretty sure I don't like checking my recipe book. Oh, I need to have the other part of it first, so that's not going to do me any good. But I believe it's 8 pieces of chiseled stone, but we'll find out once we have some stone to chisel. I'm just going to go ahead and get 2 of those right now, because it'll be nice to know if I... Really? I would have thought that the lodestone would have been in this recipe book by this point. So that's unnerving. We'll have to see what that recipe is for sure. Yeah, it is what I thought it was. You just need to have 8 of them. But I didn't think that you needed all 8 in order to unlock the recipe for it, so let's find out. Nope, it just hasn't updated. So let's go ahead and make these and throw that in the center, and we've got ourselves a lodestone. And now what we can do is we can place this right here. We can get out 4 ingots. and a piece of redstone dust. Throw those together in a crafting table as well. And then take our newly made compass over to our lodestone and set it. So now we have country load, take me home, and this will actually, I think, be a lot better for us than some of our coordinates. I just don't necessarily like having these coordinates up on screen. I have changed my GUI to make them smaller and less obtrusive, but I just like having an open screen where I can because I feel like it just kind of helps the general vibe. Let's check and make sure that our death didn't reset the enchantment here. I don't think it would have, and no, it hasn't. So we're going to go ahead and save that back up again, and I'm going to have to do some very serious off-camera grinding. But if you have watched all of today's video and you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for that daily variety content, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.